things will be there in the metabolism. One is catabolism, other one is anabolism. Catabolism, I told you, it is a breaking down. Anabolism means construction process, synthesis process. Catabolism means destruction, breaking down process, energy releasing process. Whereas anabolism is energy requiring process. So in this carbohydrate metabolism, first we should know about the digestion and absorption of carbohydrates. How the carbohydrates that we are taking in the diet are digested, how they are absorbed, that will be discussed. Here. So first you should know what are the carbohydrates which we are eating in the food. So we are eating rice every day. It contains starch, it contains dextrins. Sometimes we do eat non-vegetarian. So in the non-vegetarian we take lot of muscle tissues, even liver. Okay, so they contain glycogen. So glycogen also we are taking as diet. Sucrose, we take tea along with the sugar. That sugar that we add for the tea is nothing but sucrose. Then milk we take. That milk contains a sugar called lactose. Maltose comes from the cereals, pulses. The germinating seeds, they are very rich in the maltose concentration. Glucose is also used as a source of energy and is also consumed in the diet, like D-glucone or glucon-D, which is used for instant energy purpose. That D-glucose is nothing but a glucose which we are consuming, so it is also a dietary carbohydrate. Then fructose is present in many fruits, and fruit juices contains glucose or fructose. Then cellulose, lot of plant substances we eat lot of vegetables, leafy vegetables, fruits. So they all plant derived products, they are rich in cellulose content, which is a carbohydrate diet. Then other than these, raffinose, trehalose, other reducing substances which are present in the plant substances which we take as a diet. So all these compounds will form the dietary part of the dietary substances of the carbohydrates. These are the dietary substances which we consume in our food. So how these food is digested in the body, how they get absorbed in the from the intestine into the blood, that is what is the digestion and absorption processes. So digestion, so as we see, there is lot of variety of carbohydrates are present in the food which we eat. So that complex, these are all complex substances, homopolysaccharide, heteropolysaccharides, these are all complex substances. So during the process of digestion, what happens, these complexes or complex substances are broken down into simple substances. The simple substance in a carbohydrate is monosaccharide. Monosaccharide is the single unit which cannot be degraded or digested further during the process of digestion. So what we have discussed, the diet of carbohydrates, all are complex substances. They are heteropolysaccharides, homopolysaccharides, glycosaminoglycans, disaccharides, oligosaccharides, all are present in the diet. So these substances, they are complex. During the process of digestion, what will happen? These complex substances are broken down into simple substances. These simple substances are absorbed from the intestine. So let's say starch. We have discussed about the structure of starch. It consists of two units, that is amylose and amylopectin. Amylose and amylopectin. These two are present in the starch. So amylose is made up of glucose units with a glycosidic bond alpha 1,4 glycosidic bond. Whereas amylopectin is a branched one, highly branched one, which consists of glucose molecules linked by alpha 1,4 glycosidic and alpha 1,6 glycosidic branches at branch points. So if you see the source for starch, rice, wheat, potato, corn, bread, all these are good sources of starch. So when you eat this kind of substances, it means there is a starch in the diet. So this starch has to undergo degradation. Okay, now another dietary substances like sucrose, I told you this is a table sugar, is a non-reducing disaccharide made up of glucose, alpha glucose and beta fructose by alpha 1,2 glycosidic bond. Sucrose, if you see the sucrose, Sources of sucrose, if you see cane sugar, pineapple, carrot, beet sugar, this is also called as table sugar. Okay, obtained mainly from the cane sugar, carrots, beetroots and all. Okay, so the sucrose is a non-reducing disaccharide made up of alpha beta fructose, alpha glucose and beta fructose linked by alpha beta 1,2 glycosidic bond. Lactose is a milk sugar present in the milk. This is made up of galactose and glucose with beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. Now glycogen is another homopolysaccharide, similar to that of amylopectin. The more sources of glycogen is non-vegetarian food, chicken, mutton, all muscle tissues, all these things is mainly rich of glycogen. So glycogen is an animal starch. So animal sources, non-vegetarian food, you get glycogen. Then glucose. Glucose is mainly present in fruits and present in the honey, grapes. Fructose is another monosaccharide present in the fruits and honey. Cellulose is mainly present in the plant substances like leafy vegetables and plant derived products like fruits, leaves. Then the flowers, they consist of the cellulose. Cellulose is made up of beta D glucose and alpha glucose. Beta glucose and alpha glucose are linked by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkage. You know that the cellulose cannot be digested by humans because we lack the enzyme cellulase or beta glucosidase or cellulase enzyme is absent in the human beings. So cellulose cannot be digested in the human intestine. So this cellulose still we consume because it acts as a dietary fiber. This is very important. Dietary fiber is very important for the movements of gastrointestinal tract. So no enzyme is there to digest cellulose in humans. So this is absent. Humans cannot digest cellulose, but cellulose in the food can add to the dietary fiber, So coming to the digestion of carbohydrates, if you see, the digestion of carbohydrates starts in the mouth. So if somebody gets the smell of nice non-vegetarian smell from the mess, when you are sitting in the classroom and then listening to the class, but nice smell will cause you some secretion of saliva in the mouth when you are hunger, especially in the afternoon time by 12 o'clock, 12:30, the food will be prepared in the kitchen and the mess, and you may get nice smell of the food. Then your mouth, in the mouth, saliva secretion will be there, because the taste of the food initiates the secretion of some saliva in the mouth. So the mouth saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. Salivary amylase is present in the saliva, which is secreted in the mouth. So when you take the food in the into the mouth, the food mixes with the saliva. The saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase enzyme is responsible for the starting of digestion of carbohydrates in the mouth. Is responsible for the starting of digestion of carbohydrates in the mouth. So in this diagram you can see the part of a glycogen molecule. So there is a huge glycogen molecule which is there in the food, and this glycogen molecule is acted by a salivary amylase enzyme in the mouth. So what happens, the salivary amylase enzyme, what it will do, it cleaves alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds. It cleaves alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds in the glycogen randomly, so that small pieces of food material like maltose, oligosaccharide, disaccharides are produced from the glycogen, like maltose and other oligosaccharides like maltotriose, maltotetrose. Like this, the oligosaccharides are produced because of the action of alpha amylase. But this alpha amylase, which is present in the saliva, cannot cleave the glycosidic bond alpha 1,6 glycosidic bond. It cannot cleave alpha 1,6 glycosidic bond. So in this mouth, because of the action of the salivary amylase, what happens? the glycogen molecule, huge complex molecule, is broken down into oligosaccharides, oligomaltotrioses, oligotetroses, or disaccharides. Like this, the simple small substances are formed because of the action of the enzyme salivary amylase in the mouth. So the digestion of carbohydrates begins in the mouth. Saliva contains the enzyme alpha amylase. It cleaves the alpha 1,4 glycosidic linkages of starch or glycogen which is present in the food. They are digested, so amylase can digest the starch and glycogen to oligo and disaccharides like maltose and maltotrioses, maltotetroses. Like this, the oligosaccharides and disaccharides are released from the glycogen, so it is broken down into somewhat simple substance. Okay. Now, so in the mouth, the digestion is taking place by the salivary alpha amylase. So as a result, starch and dextrins or glycogen is broken down to isomaltose, maltose, lactose, sucrose and cellulose. This has to be released. Now the food passes from the mouth through the esophagus, pharynx and esophagus. It enters into the stomach, and in the stomach what will happen? There is a low pH because there is a HCl production in the stomach. So it causes highly acidic pH concentration. So pH is very low means it is acidic in nature. So because of the acidic nature of the stomach and because of the HCl present in the stomach, the salivary amylase action will stop in the stomach because the low pH does not allow the action of salivary amylase. Now, and there is no significant digestion of carbohydrates takes place in the stomach. Okay. Now from the stomach, the food moves into the small duodenum. Through the duodenum, it enters into the small intestine. So while it enters into the small intestine, it has to pass through the duodenum, C-shaped curve, bent loop of the intestine, and into the duodenum. Pancreas open through hepatobiliary duct or pancreatic duct. Hepatobiliary pancreatic duct. So pancreas, they open through pancreatic duct into the small intestine near the duodenum. So this pancreas, they release the pancreatic juice into the small intestine. This pancreatic juice contains another significant enzyme called pancreatic alpha amylase. This pancreatic alpha amylase cleaves alpha 1,6 glycosidic linkages that are formed by the action of salivary amylase in the mouth, that is oligosaccharides, maltotrioses, maltotetroses. All those things are further cleaved by the pancreatic alpha amylase. So pancreatic alpha amylase can cleave alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds as well as alpha 1,6 glycosidic bonds. So as a result of the pancreatic amylase action in the small intestine, it releases the maltose, lactose, sucrose, all disaccharides, and further these disaccharides can be absorbed from the mucosal cell, or they are all digested further to release monosaccharides called glucose, galactose and fructose. The glucose, galactose, fructose. Sucrose contains fructose and glucose. So when sucrose is digested, it leaves one molecule of fructose and one molecule of glucose. Lactose consists of galactose and glucose. So lactose on cleavage gives galactose and glucose. Maltose is made up of glucose molecules only. On further digestion of maltose, it releases two free glucose molecules. So at the end of the digestion in the small intestine, we have all monosaccharides like glucose, fructose and galactose. This glucose, fructose and galactose, they can be absorbed from the intestinal villi, and they enter into the portal circulation. Through the portal circulation, they reach the liver. In the liver, they mix up with other nutrients, and from the liver through pulmonary circulation, they enter into the they are distributed to the other body parts. So this is how the digestion of carbohydrates takes place. So significant digestion of carbohydrates takes place in the mouth and in the small intestine. Salivary amylase and pancreatic amylase are the key enzymes of carbohydrate digestion. Apart from this, we have other enzymes which acts on the disaccharides and oligosaccharides also. So in this diagram, see the starch or glycogen is broken down in the mouth by the salivary amylase to release oligosaccharides and some disaccharides, tetroses, trioses. So then the food enters into the stomach, there is no digestion. So from the stomach the food passes into the duodenum, and in the duodenum it enters from the duodenum, it crosses into the enters into the small intestine. In the small intestine, pancreas open through the pancreatic duct into the small intestine. So pancreas release their pancreatic juice. This pancreatic juice contain many enzymes. The most important enzyme is pancreatic alpha amylase. So pancreatic alpha amylase can cleave alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds and alpha 1,6 glycosidic bonds also. Apart from these, there are other enzymes produced in the small intestine, that is isomaltase, sucrase, lactase, maltase. These enzymes, they act on the respective disaccharide. Isomaltase is converted into glucose and fructose. Sucrose is converted to glucose and fructose. Lactose is acted by the enzyme lactase, is converted to glucose and galactose. Maltose by the enzyme maltase is broken down to glucose and glucose. So free glucose, galactose, fructose molecules, monosaccharides are released because of the digestion of these other enzymes. So now free monosaccharides are present in the form of glucose, fructose and galactose. These glucose, fructose, galactose are readily absorbed by some receptors or carrier mediated transport from the intestinal lumen into the intestinal cell or mucosal cell. From the mucosal cell they enter into the portal circulation. Through portal circulation they reaches the liver. Okay. So other enzymes like lactase acts on lactose, maltase acts on maltose, isomaltase acts on isomaltose, sucrase acts on the sucrose, trihalase acts on trihalose. Okay, they cleave the respective disaccharide and releases the monosaccharides. So if you see the summary of the digestion of carbohydrates, carbohydrate digestion begins in the mouth, but it is not completely digested in the mouth. So stomach is a reservoir. There is no digestion of carbohydrates takes place because of the highly acidic pH in the stomach. Now food, as and when it enters through the duodenum, as and when it enters the small intestine, in the small intestine pancreas opens through the pancreatic duct. Pancreas releases the pancreatic juice which contains the pancreatic amylase enzyme, which helps in further digestion of carbohydrate substances. So as a final step, the disaccharides and other oligosaccharides are digested by the respective enzymes like isomaltase, trihalase, maltase, lactase, sucrase enzymes. They act on these respective disaccharides and releases the monosaccharides. So these monosaccharides are the end products of the carbohydrate digestion, like glucose, fructose and galactose, and these molecules can be readily absorbed from the intestinal lumen into the mucosal cell. From the mucosal cell, through the glucose carrier mediated transports, they are transported into the blood circulation and they enter into the portal circulation and reaches the liver for further addition of nutrients. So this is about the digestion of